A very warm welcome. You're watching World 360 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now, the winter in Ukraine could well be a defining moment for its war in Ukraine, while the UN's Human Rights Council has voted overwhelmingly to investigate into human rights abuses in Iran. We'll tell you more about these stories, but first up are the headlines. As Russia's war barrels into a 10th month, Ukrainians prepare for a harsh winter ahead. Will freezing temperatures and snow be a factor in the war operations too? Foxconn iPhone plant in China's Zhangzhou rocked by violence. Reportedly, over 20,000 workers leave. News agency Reuters reports 30% of iPhone November shipments impacted. UN Council votes to investigate human rights abuses in Iran's anti-hijab protests, in which approximately 300 people have been killed. India abstains on the UN resolution. And the FIFA World Cup fails to escape politics as Iranian players support the anti-hijab protesters and European team captains lose their LGBTQ armbands. Now, Russian strikes on Ukrainian energy infrastructure have deepened the country's energy crisis. As a result, Ukraine is all set to face a dark and brutal winter. But could the dropping temperatures also be a defining moment in the Russia-Ukraine war? We find out in our next report. No water or electricity. Darkness prevails. This winter in Ukraine is all about survival. Especially after Russian forces destroyed key infrastructure while vacating Kherson. As a result, paramedics are operating in pitch darkness. Their work made even more difficult. This after the Russians fled along with their ambulances.
It is practically difficult because the elevators do not work. The only way to lift them up the stairs is on a stretcher.
Kherson continues to face intensified Russian strikes in a marked escalation. Meanwhile, Kiev waits for water as attacks continue. This as residents of the Ukrainian capital clutch empty bottles and crowd into cafes for warmth. About 70% of the Ukrainian capital is still powerless. And about 50% of Ukraine's energy facilities have been affected by the recent strikes. So much so, Ukraine's President Zelensky has also highlighted the problem. At the same time, urging the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe to do more.
The situation with electricity remains difficult in almost all regions. But still, we are moving away from the blackout little by little. Every hour we restore power to new and new consumers. It is still the most difficult in the capital and 15 regions. Vinnytsia, Dnipropetrovsk, Zhytomyr, Zakarpattia, Ivano-Frankivsk, Kyiv, Kirovohrad, Lviv, Mykolaiv, Odessa, Poltava, Ternopil, Kharkiv, Kherson, and Khmelnytskyi. There is also a problem in the other regions.
But what would the winter mean for Ukraine's combat operations? For Ukraine, winter will add to logistical difficulties if it tries to reclaim more territory. But heavy snow and freezing temperatures could make it increasingly difficult for Russian army to regroup. Their troops are already poorly equipped. The Kremlin needs to replenish its army and strengthen its position on ground level. That Putin's military is dwindling on supplies of long-range precision-guided missiles is no secret. And that's one reason why Moscow used Iranian-made attack drones to make up for the deficit. While morale is one component in winter war, fighting capability is another. And Russia certainly seems to be losing out on both. Bureau Report, CNN News 18. And CNN's Sam Kiley joins us live from Zaporizhia in Ukraine. A very warm welcome to you, Sam. Now, it's the darkest winter in Ukraine as Russia aims at Ukraine's power grid. Will heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures be a factor in the Ukraine war, and how?
Well, the Ukrainians have accused the Putin administration of weaponizing winter. Now, that would be a natural thing to do if you're trying to invade a country. It would also be a natural thing to try to break the will of the country to fight the war. And a good way of doing that, cynically speaking, would be to go after the energy generating capacity of that country. Now, that is exactly what the Putin administration is now doing. Having been pushed back on the ground, it is using the air, particularly swarms of cruise missiles that have been sent over in what the Ukrainian government says are 7 different sets of swarms to try to overwhelm their air defenses and attack their electrical generating capacity and their distribution capacity. And they've the Russians have had some success in that they have degraded the capacity of this country to both produce but also distribute electricity, and that has resulted in power cuts. Now, we're only in late November. Winter is going to deepen. Temperatures are going to fall very rapidly. By January and February, they could be down at -15, -20 degrees centigrade. Those are very extreme temperatures to live in when you haven't got warmth, you can't cook, and the water systems are not being able to function because they rely on electricity to get water around. Now, the Ukrainians are working incredibly hard to try and put that right. Every time they get these structures attacked, they repair them. One of the issues has been that the nuclear power stations have been offline. 4 of them were taken offline, out of the national grid system, which makes them vulnerable because of their cooling systems, then have to rely on diesel generations. But all of this is part of the ongoing war effort of the Russians. Of course, the Ukrainians are asking the international community to provide them with better air defenses so that these cruise missiles in particular can't get through and can't weaponize war.
And since you're talking about Ukraine asking for help, Ukraine, of course, is facing significant military, economic and energy issues. Can Ukraine and its Western allies help the country to survive this winter?
Well, the European Union is sending in many hundreds of generators to try to help local communities get by, to provide much needed power to communities. It's just one of the efforts being made by allies of Ukraine. They will be able to get through this winter. This country has been through worse. Inevitably, we recently marked in this country the Holodomor, the annual anniversary of remembrance of the many millions that were killed by the Soviet Union under Stalin when they last had a genocidal attempt to wipe the Ukrainian culture off the map. They got through that. They will get through this winter. They're a resilient population, but it will be tough. And the administrations of many cities are making contingency plans to move civilians, particularly vulnerable civilians, the elderly, the very young, out of cities and into environments where they can be kept warm, where they can be fed, where they can get water. But that is the worst case scenario. What they're really asking for are the surface-to-air missiles so that they don't have to do this, so that the advantage that Russia has in the air, particularly in terms of the use of cruise missiles, is removed from the Russian capability and allows the Ukrainians to prosecute the war more effectively on the ground.
Right. Many thanks to you, Sam Kiley, for bringing in all those inputs. And with that, we shift our attention over to China. Employees working at the largest iPhone assembly site in the world in China protested over the terms of payment packages for those who were newly hired and COVID-related concerns about their living conditions. Violent clashes broke out between protesters and security forces, and now Foxconn has offered to pay newly recruited workers 10,000 yuan, which translates to $1,400. This in an attempt to quell the protests. China has recorded a whopping 31,000 new COVID cases on Wednesday, a new record high since the pandemic began. However, the IMF has urged China to recalibrate its zero COVID policy for a much needed economic recovery. The IMF even suggested including an acceleration in vaccination and further action to end the property sector crisis and support growth. For more details, let's quickly go across to Selena Wong of CNN, who joins me live from Beijing. Selena, thank you for joining in. Has the violence at Foxconn's iPhone plant in China's Zhangzhou impacted current iPhone productions?
So Apple warned weeks ago that the COVID restrictions and lockdowns in China were having an impact on its supply chain. Apple had warned customers that they could be waiting even longer to get their latest iPhone products because of the disruption at the Zhengzhou plant. This Zhengzhou plant is the world's biggest iPhone factory. Analysts estimate that it produces more than half of the world's iPhone output. So the fact that they were having worker dispute issues, protests, a mass exodus of workers, that does have an impact. After these latest protests, Apple had released a statement saying that they had Apple employees at the campus trying to address employee concerns.
All right. Selena, under the strict zero COVID policy of the Chinese government, several incidents of violent protests have emerged from time to time. Could you share details about how China's zero COVID policy has impacted the Chinese economy?
China's zero COVID policy has had a devastating impact on the economy. We've seen economic growth dramatically shrink in the last few years because every time there's a lockdown, it shuts down business. It's very hard for companies to continue to operate with the stringent COVID rules. For instance, right now, Beijing, more and more parts of the city are locking down. I've seen more and more businesses completely shut down because they can't survive with so much on and off of being able to start business and then not being able to start business. And for these factories, for instance, like Foxconn, that are still able to operate when there are broader lockdowns and surging COVID cases, it's a lot and it's very difficult for the company to keep up with it. They have to provide the means for these factory workers to live, sleep, work on site. That can be very costly. And we've spoken to workers who say that the living conditions are terrible.
All right. Many thanks to you, Selena Wong, for sharing those precious insights. And with that, let's bring you the latest from Iran. Months after Mahsa Amini died after being arrested and allegedly abused while in police custody in Iran, the ripple effects of that event are still being felt in Iran as the subsequent protests continue. So much so, the UN Human Rights Council voted to conduct a fact-finding mission to investigate the alleged human rights violations during the protests on Thursday. 25 countries voted in favor, while 16 abstained, including India. Iran's football team refused to sing the national anthem when it was played during their opening match against England. Videos of Iranian fans showed them crying in response to the show of solidarity with Iranian protesters back home. This was during the FIFA match. But during their match against Wales, the players were seen singing the anthem. For more details, let's quickly go across to CNN's Jumana Kardashe, who joins me live from Istanbul. Jumana, according to the UN, over 300 people have died since the anti-hijab protests began in mid-September. Could you shed more light on the current status of these protests?
What we've seen is this government crackdown on the protests intensifying over the past week. The United Nations already estimates that more than 300 people were killed, and they believe the number is much higher than that. That includes more than 40 children. And the concern is we are seeing these protests persisting, showing absolutely no signs of stopping. And we've spoken with protesters inside Iran who say they're not going to stop. They are going to continue protesting. They're going to continue demanding regime change. The concern is that we are going to see this crackdown intensify even further. There has been a lot of concern about what is happening in the Kurdish region of Iran. We have seen the death toll in that part, in the western part of the country. really rising, especially over the past week, where human rights organizations that follow the situation there very closely have been telling us that they have seen a significant increase in the brutality. The government is trying to paint a picture of what's happening in those majority Kurdish areas as a separatist terrorist movement, and they say that they are sending their troops to confront this separatist movement. And the concern is that we are going to see an even bloodier crackdown in the coming days. This, as the government is continuing to try and crush dissent across the country. More than 14,000 people have been arrested. That includes men, women, and children as well. They're continuing to arrest high-profile Iranians who are coming out in support of the protests. And we have seen at least 6 individuals so far, protesters, sentenced to death in what is being described as these sham and show trials. So a lot of concern about what is going to be happening in the coming days and weeks.
It is concerning indeed. Now, Germany's foreign minister called on members of the United Nations human rights body to condemn Tehran over the human rights situation in Iran. Could you tell us more about this meeting and its outcome?
That meeting is being described, that vote by the United Nations Human Rights Council is being described as historic. They have agreed to establish a fact-finding mission that we would see formed in the coming weeks, that would investigate the human rights violations that have taken place during these protests over the past more than 2 months. And according to experts we've spoken with, what the fact-finding mission will do is collect, preserve, and analyze evidence of human rights violations. And that evidence can be used to hold those perpetrators of the human rights abuses in Iran accountable for their crimes. This is such a huge victory for so many Iranians around the world, human rights advocates who for years have been pushing the international community to create some sort of an independent investigative and accountability mechanism to hold the human rights violators in Iran to account. So this is finally happening now, and it's coming at a very critical time, just as we are hearing the United Nations warning that the situation right now in Iran is a full-blown human rights crisis.
Right, many thanks to you, Jumana, for bringing in all those details. And since we're talking about Iran's football team taking a stand for the protesters in their country, the 2022 FIFA World Cup is underway in Qatar's Doha and will continue until December 18th. And while football fans want to focus more on the matches, there are a host of political issues at large that have cast a shadow over the World Cup. First, a ban on beer sales at all game venues, a rule that was announced just few days before the World Cup was set to start. Then, the controversy over the One Love armband, which sought to promote inclusivity in terms of LGBTQ rights. The armbands were banned because FIFA rules stipulate that team equipment must not have any political, religious or personal slogans, statements or images. Moreover, homosexuality is illegal in Qatar. And of course, the Iran team declining to sing the national anthem ahead of their match against England was a move that showed solidarity with Iran's anti-hijab protesters.
We're choosing not to support Infantino due to the dividing messages he's been giving at this World Cup. We believe that football is a game that unites the world, and we find the way that the press statement was giving was not exactly gathering all of us. On the legal action, we've said we are investigating the legal opportunities. I think there's not a big chance that we're going to have a legal success, but we're investigating, what can we do in order to react to FIFA, because we find this very late decision by FIFA unjust and unfair.
And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break on World 360. But don't go anywhere, because up next is the Republican game plan to probe US President's son, Hunter Biden.
BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now we are seeing with more and more videos coming out, there is radio silence from the Aam Aadmi Party camp. Would you say the party is running out of defenses?
Well, as far as the attacks are concerned, Ayushman, it is the Bharatiya Janata Party who is on the frontal attack, and when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, they have no other option but to defend always. And this is the fresh video which has been released by the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party on the social media platform, Ayushman. And clearly in the video we can see, and this is the video which is recorded few days back. Now the person, the jail superintendent, Mr. Ajit, he has been suspended on 14th of November because somewhere or the other, the allegations were made from the leaders of the opponent Bharatiya Janata Party that the VIP treatment is being given to Satyendra Jain. And if we talk about the fresh video, Ayushman, in this particular video, we can see that at about 8 p.m, this is the video of a particular day where the jail superintendent had gone to meet the jail minister, the minister who is in charge of the jail department, Mr. Satyendra Jain. And the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, particularly the MP from Delhi, Mr. Parvesh Sharma, he has been saying that the superintendent is not just another jail staff. He is one such person who holds a value, who holds authority, and when he comes and visit Satyendra Jain, and Satyendra Jain is not even showing any kind of respect to him, that means somewhere or the other Satyendra Jain continues to hold the office, and he has been showing his dominance of his ministry even inside the Tihar jail. This is the reason why the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Ayushman, are time and again demanding the resignation of Satyendra Jain, and also at the same time they have been saying that Satyendra Jain should be shifted to another jail because he continues to receive all the treatment, VIP treatment particularly inside Tihar. Back to you, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us and decoding the politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP in the wake of Massagegate, and the controversy only, and the war of words only escalates between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, after Massagegate, fresh trouble mounts for the Aam Aadmi Party as the BJP has released another video of Aam Aadmi Party Minister Satyendra Jain, where he's seen in conversation with the jail superintendent inside his cell. The BJP has termed the video Satyendra Ka Darbar and launched a blistering attack against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for defending the jailed minister. The BJP has also demanded Satyendra Jain be removed from the party immediately.
पहले तिहाड़ में जो 5 महीने से जेल में है सत्येंद्र जैन, जिनको कोर्ट से राहत नहीं मिलती है, पहले वो वीवीआईपी मालिश करवाते हैं, वो भी चाइल्ड रेप।
Welcome back to World 360 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now, the American television news network CBS has finally admitted that Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden's laptop, which was probed by the FBI, is real. This comes after 20 months following the revelation and FBI's investigation, and a fortnight after the midterms took place in the United States. The data, bank records and digital forensics analysis from the laptop are at the center of a looming Republican-led House investigation into the Biden family businesses, which was launched last week. The evidence is dangerously close to the line of illegal lobbying, fraud, tax evasion and other crimes as well. Now, President Biden's backers are laying the groundwork to discredit and downplay any forthcoming revelation from Hunter Biden's laptop. While the White House is likely to honor some grand old party probes, it is highly unlikely that they will cooperate on Hunter Biden's probe. And with that, let me quickly shift attention over to Malaysia. After several days of post-election deadlock, veteran opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim has been appointed as the Prime Minister by King Sultan Abdullah. This comes nearly 30 years after Ibrahim first came in close proximity to the position back in the 1990s, but was suddenly sacked and jailed, that too twice. Ibrahim has promised to give up his salary as the Prime Minister and has pledged to fight corruption and focus on the Malaysian economy. He also wants to implement reforms, including a fixed-term Parliament Act and a 10-year limit on the serving term of Prime Ministers. While the United States is spending the Thanksgiving holiday, chilling new details have emerged about the mass shooting at a Virginia Walmart. Authorities say the gunman legally purchased the weapon used just hours before the attack. CNN's Brian Todd brings us the latest.
He just had the gun up to my forehead and yes, it's really hard.
Tonight, chilling new details released by police reveal that the man who killed 6 Walmart employees bought his weapon that very day. City officials say the shooter had no criminal history and that he legally bought the gun he used, a 9mm handgun. Officials releasing screenshots of writings found on the gunman's phone. The title, Death Note. He describes the grievances he had, writing his associates were laughing and mocking him, saying they, quote, gave me evil, twisted grins, mocked me and celebrated my downfall the last day. That's why they suffer the same fate as me. In another part, he writes, quote, I wish I could have saved everyone from myself. My God, forgive me for what I'm going to do. While the gunman spoke of specific people in the note, police say none of them were his victims, and the names were redacted for privacy.
Let's now bring you the latest from the United Kingdom. UK's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his cabinet are considering introducing curbs on the entry of foreign students to the UK, saying they are enrolling for quote-unquote low-quality degrees and bringing dependents. Official figures reportedly showed that net migration to the UK touched the 500,000 mark, setting a new record. However, what constitutes a low-quality degree has not been outlined as yet. This would be in line with proposals being explored by UK's Home Secretary Suella Braverman. And CNN News 18's Sanjay Suri brings us more.
Rishi Sunak has reaffirmed this week that he is determined to tackle illegal migration, and he is speaking primarily, of course, of those people arriving in the small boats from the European continent, but he is speaking also of migrants who are undocumented, who've been settled in Britain for a long period, and there he is speaking more than anyone else of Indians. They are the largest among such people, and he has said that he is making the free trade agreement with any country conditional on that country taking back such migrants. A separate migration and mobility agreement was signed between India and Britain in May last year, but consider what happened within just days. A team from the Home Office came to pick up a couple of Indians from Glasgow. Neighbors gathered around. They wouldn't let them take these guys away. This went on 8 hours, and in the end, these two had to be released. So if Rishi Sunak were to succeed, that kind of operation would have to be multiplied thousands of times and then succeed. There's going to be very strong resistance to this. It's not certain that he can get away with it, but if he does, it would be a very brutal success of an unprecedented kind.
And that's all I have for you in this edition of World 360. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back same time next week. Stay tuned to CNN News 18.
होता है, छोटा मोटा अधिकारी नहीं है। जब वो जेल के अंदर आ रहा है तो कैसे वहां पर चौपाल चल रही है।
I'm joined by my colleague Nikhil, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Nikhil, when it comes to the war of words between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, now we are seeing with more and more videos coming out, there is radio silence from the Aam Aadmi Party camp. Would you say the party is running out of defenses?
Well, as far as the attacks are concerned, Ayushman, it is the Bharatiya Janata Party who is on the frontal attack, and when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, they have no other option but to defend always. And this is the fresh video which has been released by the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party on the social media platform, Ayushman. And clear in the video we can see, and this is the video which is recorded few days back. Now the person, the jail superintendent, Mr. Ajit, he has been suspended on 14th of November because somewhere or the other, the allegations were made from the leaders of the opponent Bharatiya Janata Party that the VIP treatment is being given to Satinder Jain. And if we talk about the fresh video, Ayushman, in this particular video, we can see that at about 8 p.m, this is the video of a particular day where the jail superintendent had gone to meet the jail minister, the minister who is in charge of the jail department, Mr. Satinder Jain. And the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, particularly the MP from Delhi, Mr. Parvesh Sharma, he has been saying that the superintendent is not just another jail staff. He is one such person who holds a value, who holds authority, and when he comes and visit Satyen Jain, and Satyen Jain is not even showing any kind of respect to him, that means some way or the other Satyen Jain continues to hold the office, and he has been showing his dominance of his ministry even inside the Tihar jail. This is the reason why the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Ayushman, are time and again demanding the resignation of Satyen Jain, and also at the same time they have been saying that Satyen Jain should be shifted to another jail because he continues to receive all the treatment, VIP treatment particularly inside Tihar. Back to you, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us and decoding the politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP in the wake of Massagegate, and the controversy and the war of words only escalates between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, after Massagegate, fresh trouble mounts for the Aam Aadmi Party as the BJP has released another video of Aam Aadmi Party Minister Satyen
we have been talking about. You go to the nook and corner of Gujarat and you will find
my God!
wonderful roads.
When did you last came to Gujarat?
And
When
we
did
are
you last
aware
came
of
to
the
Gujarat?
high business investment in Gujarat and the increased foreign direct investment. Very high export
I'll tell you figure.
I'll tell you figure.
I have all the figures ready.
And
I have all the figures ready for vibrant
I
Gujarat.
would say that we are winning the election with 2/3 majority. And as far as our Sankalp Patra is concerned, I can only say that we have performed extremely well in the last 27 years. We are going to translate all our promises into reality. Rupees 10,000 crore for farmers infrastructure.
Prashant Gadvi now, political analyst. Before I go back to the politicians on the panel again, Prashant Gadvi, what according to you is the big takeaway as far as the Sankalp Patra of the BJP is concerned? And if you were to look at the manifestos of various political parties which are in the running this time around in elections, what do you think will have the maximum traction among people?
The first thing, manifesto is not a legal document wherein, you know, people or citizen will ask a questions after the elections to the government also or to the opponent leader also, that you have mentioned this much in your manifesto or you have committed this much. It is not a commitment. Yes, definitely it's a approach to the citizens or to the voter to get the some relaxation. Secondly, I have gone through the manifesto of BJP, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party is having their own guarantee card. These days, Congress has some put down some ground level real issues. Congress has put down some ground level real issues because they are into opposition, so they knows what are the pain areas. Same way, I have gone through the BJP manifesto. Rather than manifesto, it seems as a budget report card, because you know we will spend this much amount. We will spend this much amount means it's a completely a budget report kind of scenario. The important thing in this election there is no political excitement.
Election excitement. The BJP, what you are calling is the budget, no, what you are saying is the budget paper almost. They have done that because they realize that the promises of freebies that are being made by the Aam Aadmi Party is something that cannot be realized, and hence what they are doing here is that they understand the budget of the state, and hence they are making those promises, keeping in mind that if they win, then those, you know, that it has been calculated within the budget of the state of Gujarat. That's why it is appearing to be the way it is.
BJP is ruling government since 27 years. So they have already started some journey. They have started. They must have started at some crore rupees, because as of now Gujarat government's budget is 2.3 lakhs crore and date is 3.5 lakhs crore. So they knows what exactly in and outs of the balance sheet. But yes, freebies is kind of, you know, just a jugglery of the words, because BJP is also giving something. If you go through the manifesto of today, they will provide the free PDS scheme. Public distribution scheme, and provide the 1 kg ration, 1 kg grains to the BPL card holder. And already Gujarat government of India is giving since last 1.5 years, since the day of Corona. So freebies is definitely there inside the world of India, by government of India or by Aam Aadmi Party. Congress has yet not committed anything except some 300 units electricity. So Aam Aadmi Party guarantee card is speaking something, and they have already implemented in some state, and that's why they are talking. But the entrant is the threat to the BJP.
Tell me, Priyanka Kakkar. Yes, okay. Priyanka Kakkar, let me bring her now in the picture. Priyanka Kakkar, you heard what the Congress had to say. They are making specific points with regards to the BJP's manifesto. Can we get into the specifics, please?
Maria, you took my specific and asked Tarangi ma'am about how will they reach the 1 trillion economy, and she had no answer. She went to how we failed in Uttar Pradesh, when she herself forgot that how many years it took for BJP to come to power. She must also remember Punjab in that case, where we've delivered. She must also remember Delhi, where we've beaten them thrice. Now, you know, coming back to, it's very important that I please clarify this, that the contest is between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, and we are promising ground issues. We are promising 300 units of electricity, which we have delivered in 2 states. We are promising 300 free medicines and tests, which we have delivered in 2 states. We are promising free education, good education, which we have delivered in 2 states. Now, coming back to, you know, Congress. What is Congress doing in Gujarat right now? It is nowhere seen on the ground. You yourself admitted it. You are there in Surat. You don't see Congress karyakartas anywhere. Now, Congress has given tickets to people like Lalit Vasoya who stand up and say, oh, please don't vote for Aam Aadmi Party. If you don't want to vote for Congress, vote for the BJP. And what is BJP doing? BJP saying, oh, our contest is with Congress. From Congress Mukt Bharat to they have come to this plank that we are only going to fight Congress. So you see that this is the level of scare that has been produced by Aam Aadmi Party and our guarantee card, because we always deliver our promises.
I'll correct you on that. You know, the Aam Aadmi Party does have a better surround sound regarding its campaign, but as far as the elections in Gujarat is concerned, we have always seen that as a bipolar contest. You are a new entrant, which is certainly jubilant, particularly in the context, particularly Priyanka, because of what happened in the municipal body polls last year, when in Surat Municipal Corporation, where I am in Surat city, the Aam Aadmi Party won 27 seats and with 28% vote. That is what the number is, and that has made the Congress nervous. Now, Nishant Rawal, this point being made here that your candidates are saying that agar aap humko nahi denge to BJP ko de dijiye lekin Aam Aadmi Party ko mat dijiye. So is this an acknowledgement that if anything the Aam Aadmi Party is eating into your vote, the opposition space?
Maria, first of all, Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Advertisement Party is nowhere in the competition with Indian National Congress or other Rashtriya Party in Gujarat. Why? I'll tell you. This is Aam Aadmi Party CM candidate, Isudan Gadvi. If you see his picture, right? CM candidate. He has been caught and FIR been launched in month of January drinking alcohol and abusing a woman. This is Aam Aadmi Party's start point in Gujarat election. Second, in 2021, in all the block elections and Jilla Panchayat elections, Aam Aadmi Party contested election in Gujarat. They have not more than 2% vote share. In fact, people of Gujarat voted for Nota more than Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party doesn't have a single MLA in entire Gujarat, and they are talking about forming up a government. Aam Aadmi Party will definitely not open their account. Definitely they will not open their account.
Let's have Priyanka and Nishant on the screen. Yes, please. Go ahead.
No, those are fake, manipulated arguments. That
This is not
very respectable. It is, sir. It is, sir. It is, sir. नशाबंदी है गुजरात में कि नहीं? नशाबंदी है गुजरात में कि नहीं? नशाबंदी है.
You have no knowledge and you are coming to national television.
No, you are lying, sir. You don't have to behave like the BJP. You are lying, sir. It's a fake news.
And he was in jail.
Sir.
He was in
It
jail.
is fake news. You know it. He's a very respected journalist. I challenge you. Is it a nashabandi wala state or not? Please tell me. It's a political vendetta. There are 1,000 cases against all of us because there is political vendetta. Then Lalit Vasoya, tell me, sir. Lalit Vasoya, why have you given?
Okay, tell me one thing. Did you clean Yamuna? Did you clean Yamuna? What promise you gave to the people of Delhi? Did you clean Yamuna? It's 2022. What happens to your minister? Why they are sitting in jail? What is going on Tihar jail? What is going on this massage episode? What is going on with the air pollution? What is going on with air pollution? 29 murders. 29 murders happen in 1 month in Punjab. 29 murders happen in Punjab.
Don't support BJP.
What is becoming clear, Prashant Gadvi, is before I give the final words to Aprajita. Before I give the final words to Aprajita, one moment. Prashant Gadvi, you know, it's the Aam Aadmi Party versus the Congress for the number 2 and the number 3 position as far as the BJP is concerned. And I was here covering the elections also in 2017. There seems to be almost like the BJP marching ahead. They understand that there could be challenges. That is the reason why the campaign blitzkrieg of the Prime Minister is going to continue as well till the last day of campaigning. We are also seeing that push that is coming in terms of their booth management, which has been the strength of the party. Do you think that's where the elections are always decided, be it in Himachal or in Gujarat? That is where it will be decided. How many booths are there on the day of the election? How many people you are able to pull them out? The reason is also, Prashant Gadvi, that do these opposition parties, are they promising something that is a strong enough pull for the people of Gujarat to move away from a party that they have trusted for 27 years?
See, absolutely, your pain, it is also the same pain of Gujarat voters. Here the race is for number 2, not for the number 1. And logically, see, Congress is at 55 or 60 numbers since 3 decades, and they have not even come to the 55 to 92, which is a magic figure out of 182 seats. So Congress has not any, make up any good strategy in last 3 decades to reach 92. At the same time, Aam Aadmi Party contesting for the first time in the state without a single MLA. How they are claiming 93? Because I'm very much sure that Aam Aadmi Party is focusing some specific seats, 15, 20 or 25, which we can they can contest very aggressively or get some good results, good vote share, so that they can plan for 2027 rather than 22. So it's a race of number 2. They themselves have. Yes, silency of Congress is painful to the BJP also, and that's why Prime Minister has clearly mentioned in the rally that Congress is doing some hot shipping arrangement in the night. They are doing work very silently, so don't underestimate Congress. See, look at the Congress.
And Prashant Gadvi, this was the belt. You know, interestingly, it was Saurashtra or Surat, where in 2017 you had the then Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, who had parked here because the elections were happening just after the demonetization, just after the GST, and there was anger on the ground. And then itself, even then, Surat had voted for the BJP. This time around, people in the textile market or the diamond traders seem to have adjusted with the GST. So as far as any anger is concerned or visible anti-incumbency is concerned, that is not there. If anything, there is a great degree of satisfaction.
2017 was a different scenario. At that time, some community like Patidar Andolan was there, Dalit and Thakur Andolan was there. This time we don't see.
You had 3. Yes, you had Alpesh Thakur, Jignesh Mevani, Hardik Patel, of which 2 of them are with the BJP now.
True. So they are into BJP Khema now. We don't see any other anger, as you rightly mentioned. Only thing is Aam Aadmi Party, whatever vote share Aam Aadmi Party gets, what will be the polarization, among whom and from which belt Aam Aadmi Party will get the vote shares, and if they get 100 votes, what will be the percentage ratio of breaking out the votes from BJP or a Congress? Is it 70-30? Is it 65-35? Is it 60-40? And whatever breakdown happens out of those...
Enough time for Aprajita.
Okay. See, I fail to understand.
2017 was, of course, a very different election, because that was the time when perhaps your tally, of course, went below 100 for the first time. You are hoping to improve your best performance that Gujarat has ever seen. The question is, what more are you offering to people of Gujarat than what you have done for these 27 years? What is there in addition?
See, there will be 2 parts of my statement. Number 1, of course, I like to talk about the manifesto of AAP. AAP Gujarat has a budget of rupees 2.42 lakh crore, and AAP would be requiring rupees 3.60 lakh crore for implementing its promises. So I think there is absolutely no logic behind whatever they have written in their manifesto. This is one. I have given you the figures. They have lost deposits in many of the seats they had contested in various states. So the situation remains the same in Gujarat. I'm sure they'll be doing the same in Himachal Pradesh. Now, as far as Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, you can see the way all of us are putting in very hard work. 3 days I was in Gujarat. I had been sent by my party to Gujarat to one of the assembly segments. We call it carpet bombing. We are trying to be in touch with the people. We are going from this booth to the other booth, and we are trying to mingle with people, trying to know their problems. And this is how we actually prepare ourselves for any election. This time, we are confident that we would be crossing 140, yes. And as far as 2017 elections is concerned, yes, I agree. From 115, we came down to 99. But I think the situation was different. You have just mentioned about the Patidar community issues, and there were 2-3 leaders who have now
I agree with you. The situation is very different. The issues are very different. There is no agitation visibly, and hence, is it clear that the BJP is in a pole position for the moment? Yes, it does. Thank you so much for joining me, Aprajita Sarangi, Priyanka Kakkar, Nishant Rawal, and Prashant Gadvi. I am in Battleground Gujarat. I'll continue my election coverage here, and I'll be seeing you on Monday on News Epicenter, where I'll get you ground reports of what the people of Gujarat are saying about this election. Thanks so much for watching.
Mr. Satyendra Jain, where he's seen in conversation with the jail superintendent inside his cell. The BJP has termed the video Satyendra Ka Darbar and launched a blistering attack against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for defending the jailed minister. The BJP has also demanded Satyendra Jain be removed from the party immediately.
पहले तिहाड़ में जो 5 महीने से जेल में है सत्येंद्र जैन, जिनको कोर्ट से राहत नहीं मिलती है, पहले वो वीवीआईपी मालिश करवाते हैं, वो भी चाइल्ड रेपिस्ट से, और वो कोर्ट में तो कहते हैं 28 किलो घट गया, खाना नहीं मिल पा रहा है। परंतु अब जो वीडियो सामने आया है कि किस प्रकार से जिस जेल सुपरिटेंडेंट को सस्पेंड भी किया गया है उनके कुकृत्यों की वजह से, वो नजर आते हैं सत्येंद्र जैन के साथ। किस प्रकार से सत्येंद्र जैन को वीवीआईपी ट्रीटमेंट मिल रही थी तिहाड़ जेल के अंदर, जो अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार कंट्रोल करती है। अब अरविंद केजरीवाल, आपने इन सारी चीजों को डिफेंड किया, आपने एक रेपिस्ट को फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट कहा। बताइए कि क्या आप देश से माफी मांगेंगे और क्या सत्येंद्र जैन को बर्खास्त करेंगे और जेल से बाहर करेंगे?
So when it comes to the MCD elections as well as the Gujarat elections, the BJP has launched this scathing attack against the Aam Aadmi Party through these videos. Now it all started with Massagegate, ladies and gentlemen, where what happened was a rape accused was giving a massage to Satyendra Jain inside his cell, that visual in the center of your screen. And then what happened was that the Aam Aadmi Party top brass stated that this was a physiotherapy session, and they targeted the BJP, saying they are attacking Satyendra Jain based on his health. But it turns out that the man wasn't a licensed physiotherapist. He was actually a rape accused, a man who is in jail for sexually assaulting his own daughter. Then the pitch came from the Aam Aadmi Party that Satyendra Jain is being starved, he's not getting good food inside prison, that he's lost a lot of weight. And then the visual emerged that he was getting food from outside, which was being served to him by an attendant. Now, Satyendra Jain, who is currently a minister without a portfolio, but he did serve as jail minister. You can see the meeting he's having inside his jail cell with the jail superintendent. And the BJP is saying that he's living the higher life, he's living the VIP life in prison, and targeting Satyendra Jain as well as Arvind Kejriwal. And remember, Arvind Kejriwal called Satyendra Jain Qatar Imandar ever since he was arrested over charges of money laundering. I'm joined by Ashish on the phone line. Ashish, when it comes to this entire tussle between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, we've seen a battle of press conferences, but for now, the Aam Aadmi Party is not making any statements when it comes to all of these videos, calling it a conspiracy. The BJP has filed a complaint with the Delhi police to take action. So can we see any movement on that front beyond the political war of words?
So we've already seen some action because, after this video surfaced, if you remember, we broke this story first on 30th of October itself. And since then, the lawyers for Satyendra Jain had approached the court that this video should not be leaked. And in fact, there was an order of the court also that suggested that media can't run it. But here, obviously, the media is running only if it has been come into public domain after it has been tweeted by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, having said that, whether the heads have rolled or not, yes, they have already. Reason being that there have already been massive transfers inside jail. The moment this video surfaced, the video was shared by the Enforcement Directorate with the Home Ministry, it was shared with the LG office, and it was also shared with the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, the CBI is also contemplating the idea for registering an FIR, registering a regular case, in this matter, because there is misuse of office. Now, misuse of office is absolutely visible at least in the video that has been leaked today. Reason being that the chief of the jail is himself sitting inside. This is usually not the process. Now look at the kind of facilities he was enjoying. Look at the kind of comfort he was enjoying inside. He was getting a head massage, a leg massage, a back massage, a whole body massage. Not only that, he was getting homemade food. Not only that, then he was also getting access to his wife sitting in the cell, and obviously his relatives also. So certainly this is VVIP treatment that he is getting, and already the heads have rolled.
Right. Thank you, Ashish, for joining us on the phone line to get the latest when it comes to the aftermath of this entire tussle that's been created between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP after Massage Gate, and now the trouble continues for the Aam Aadmi Party when it comes to the PR battle, with more and more videos coming out from the BJP camp. But we're getting some more breaking news where the BJP continues its attack against the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, this is the latest reaction coming in from Parvesh Verma of the BJP. He says Satyendra Jain continues to be jail minister, and that is the reason why the jail superintendent is visiting him.
Hello and welcome. Someone said, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. After a dry spell of half-filled cinema halls, kudos, we are back to 100 crore films. These 2 weeks have been exhilarating. I'm Atika Faruqi. Here is a show that promises love for good cinema and a penchant for moving stories. A lot's coming up, but first, headlines. Bhediya is horror, comedy and a satire on urban development that promises a joyride for family audience. This week's recommendation is Made, a mini-series about a single mom domestic abuse survivor who inspired thousands of women. Saif Ali Khan in a conversation about his career, family and father, Tiger Patodi. And young singing sensation Sachet Parampara talk about their latest offering and the song that changed their life. To begin with, let's talk about Bhediya that has released at the box office this week. The world of werewolves has been a favourite horror genre in many parts of the world. Closer home, we have had films like Jani Dushman and Junoon, where a fine-looking man transforms into a dreary wolf on a full moon night. But Dinesh Vijan and Amar Kaushik's Bhediya is a story that's more than horror, laced with consistent rib-tickling humour, underlined with development versus nature conservation debate, and overall provides an experience that's wholesome and frankly also inspires respect for the makers. Bhaskar, a young boy who has mortgaged his family's house to invest in a project that entails building of a road cutting right across the lush forests of Arunachal Pradesh. In his own words, who cares about nature? हमारे लिए balcony में रखा plant ही nature है. He wants to move from Jamuna Par to GK. So he's aspirational and sometimes insensitive.
मुझसे तो देखा नहीं जा रहा. मुझसे भी नहीं.
He's accompanied by his IAS aspirant cousin played by Abhishek Banerjee, who's a bit slow and irritating to him at times. The two meet up with Jomin, played by Palid Kabak, a local boy in Arunachal's Zero, to come together and convince the locals and the administration there to help build up this project. All three boys together make up scenes of great camaraderie, language conflict, good humour, friendship goals, etc. They are joined by Panda, played by Deepak Dobriyal. He is genuinely intriguing and comes up with these lines articulated and modulated in such a funny way that he forms an essential part of the film's intrigue as well as humour.
इच्छाधारी तो नागिन होती है.
क्यों? सिर्फ नागिन के पास लाइसेंस है क्या इच्छाधारी होने का?
Bhediya, which is a local legend here called Vishanu, a representative of folksy, fantastical, in a way, protector of the jungle, will literally eat up the person who plans to devastate the forest.
मेरा इलाज नहीं हुआ ना तो मैं लोगों को खाता फिरूंगा.
Amar Kaushik, who has given us 3 and Bala previously, continues his winning streak in an absolutely engrossing and absorbing narrative, which does not boast of factual fidelity but is high on soulful connect with the issue of wildlife welfare and trees. Also keeps the flavour of the film light and peppy. The film tries its best to tell us that Arunachal Pradesh is the lungs of India. Prakriti hai to pragati hai. In a scene, Kriti, playing a veterinarian, says, "Tum insaan hi theek ho, janwar banne ke layak nahi ho." The point that Amar Kaushik made through Stree about women's safety, here he is doing it for forest conservation and trees. He subtly inspires respect in a world of entertainment where most films aim at only entertaining and not leaving a thought or a message behind. Writer Nirain Bhatt dwells upon questions of language, identity, culture with dashes of comicality to keep the 2 hour and roughly 45-minute long movie lively.
तुम्हें क्या लगता है
ये भेड़िए ने मुझे ही क्यों काटा है?
In a scene where a question arises, when does Bhaskar turn into a bhediya? Panda says, शायर, सुहागन और भेड़िए को चांद बहुत पसंद है. There are dialogues that make sure that you cannot stop your giggly laughter. Varun Dhawan gets a big pie here. He's impressive both in his physicality for being able to look like someone who can turn into a bhediya to the comical scenes with Abhishek and Deepak here. He gets ample room to perform. In a scene he says, बस भाई की बॉडी बन गई है, ये बढ़िया है. मैं कब तक इंसानों को खाता फिरूंगा? I burst out into innumerable laughters in the course of the film.
कल रात को क्या खाया था?
प्रकाश.
Kriti has a considerable voice but can't reveal for the fear of spoilers, but good job. Cinematography by Jishnu Bhattacharjee, his camera and production design and the visual effects that enable that transformation and letting the boy leap across buildings as a werewolf are top notch. The climax also promises a delightful experience. Bhediya reworks the conventions of the genre to craft the story of a forest facing the threat of desolation in the name of development. Also, it's a film that appeals to young and the family. Now we talk about the film recommendation of this week. On 25th November, the world celebrates the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, a day designated by the United Nations. So here is a recommendation that is closely linked and superbly performed. Watching the extraordinarily gripping mini-series Made on Netflix, one is struck by how different the lives of domestic workers are in India and the US. They are practically worlds apart. Alex, played by Margaret Qualley, the protagonist, is just out of an abusive relationship and is seeking help in the form of government aid, student loans and an education. That is something no domestic worker in India can aspire for in their wildest dreams. Created for Netflix by Molly Smith-Metzler, you are quickly drawn into Alex's world as she leaves her abusive boyfriend Sean, played by Nick Robinson, with her 2.5-year-old daughter Maddie in the middle of the night.
You on parole? No.
Alex approaches Value Mates, a cleaning service, and starts to work under pressing circumstances, pinching shortage of money, dirt and filth around her. As Alex cleans gracious mansions with killer sundowner views, she learns about the people she works for, different women from all walks of life, and writes her experiences in a notebook. We also know about Alex's strained relationship with her father and her free-spirited mum, Paula, played by her own mother in real life, Andie McDowell, who has undiagnosed bipolar. Alex takes time to accept that she's a victim of domestic violence.
Do you want to call the cops now? It's not too late.
And say what, that he didn't hit me?
But a fellow survivor in a shelter tells her, before hitting you, they hit near you. Now she knows that she is a survivor too. Based on Stephanie Land's memoir, Made, Hard Work, Low Pay and a Mother's Will to Survive, the show is riveting for the performances and the exploration of the damage caused by the unending circle of abuse. I strongly suggest you watch it. Now moving on, talking to Saif Ali Khan is like a crash course in wit, humility and great conversational skills. Bred in England, his lineage is enviable. He's one of those actors who mixes old world charm with impeccable modern ways of living. A conversation with Saif Ali Khan on movies and life. Hello, how are you?
Well, thank you.
वो साल जब उस फैशन वीक में पहली बार आप और करीना हैंड इन हैंड आए थे एंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम अ जर्नलिस्ट आस्क्ड यू हे आर यू गाइस टुगेदर एंड यू सेड या we're together.
I wish I had said yes, we're together. I think I said there was a lot of us.
Really?
I should have been a bit more, but I do a lot of us anyway.
तो ये that kind of a journalism जिसमें infer कर लिया था that you're together?
No. I said we are together.
अच्छा.
But इतना confidently नहीं बोला. थोड़ा मैं थोड़ा घबरा के बोला.
अच्छा.
Because I hadn't checked with Kareena कि should I say it.
भाई वो तो जरूरी है ना.
लेकिन मुझे याद है हम लोग मनीष मल्होत्रा के फैशन शो पे गए थे और जब हम लोग अंदर आए थे तो There were about 200 people, maybe more people there.
Yes,
I don't know कितने
yes.
लोग थे वहाँ पे, लेकिन कम से कम 3-4 मिनट के लिए pin drop silence
हाँ.
था. They were just looking at us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are together.
Yeah, I think so. I think both of us don't believe in कि छुपाना. अगर if you believe in something, then you know you should be I think open and honest in public.
I think यही बात आपके फादर ने आपसे कही थी कई सालों पहले.
I must say, ma'am, you have a good memory and some good research also. Yes.
But isn't it? He said the same thing. If you're in a relationship, why hide?
I think he said that if you want people to respect you, or you know, you should respect yourself.
हाँ, good. तो ये बताइए कि for me, for everybody who's watching this chat show, 3 key secrets to keeping a marriage alive.
Ooh, see, I'm no expert. I don't know, but I think हमारे साथ क्या होता है कि खलील गिब्रान कहते थे कि साथ में रहो लेकिन
let there be space in togetherness.
Let there be space. Yeah, space in your togetherness. Yes. So that is something I think both of us are professionals. दोनों के अलग-अलग काम हैं. And yet at the same time we come together in the evenings and we make some time. So I think Kareena is also very good at balancing work and personal life. So I think having something fresh to talk about from time to time helps us. We travel, we can't help it. कभी-कभी you know साथ नहीं रहते हम, तो कुछ दिनों के बाद अगर मिलते हैं तो थोड़ी freshness रहती है इस वजह से I guess. Sometimes I see people you know who spend too much time together, they're looking like you know fed up sometimes. So that's not a good thing.
Yeah, किसी ने कहा है कि आपकी शादी बड़ी अच्छी चलती है, मतलब वजह क्या है? इसकी वजह ये है कि हम जरा कम मिलते हैं.
Yeah, I think Shatrughan Sinha, somebody said कि हिंदुस्तानी लोग at that time he said इतना divorce नहीं होता compared to the West. He said वो तो half the time हम लोग मिलते ही नहीं अपनी बीवी से. But I mean it's a joke, but it's also true.
Yeah.
So you know sometimes you see guys standing ahead, they walked off. The wife is following behind. I don't like that, you know. I think we should respect each other.
साथ में शाना बशाना चलना चाहिए.
Family should also respect. कभी-कभी sometimes families take each other for granted. The best thing is to have 2 different televisions. You can watch different.
Really?
I'm joking.
Royal family के लड़के का अकेले उत्तराधिकारी वली-ए-हद का ये कहना कि मैं फिल्मों में जाऊंगा, वो भी उस जमाने की फिल्मों में जब उसको बहुत अच्छी नजर से नहीं देखा जाता था.
Correct.
आपके अब्बा जान ने क्या कहा था?
नहीं, my Abba was very cool person. तो he said just follow your heart and be happy. And I think you know अगर एक अच्छी नौकरी मिलती है and if you're stable, if you take it seriously, and if you work hard and you're good at it, फिर you know मुझसे ज़्यादा कोई खुश नहीं होगा.
अच्छा, वो आपको विजिट करते थे बॉम्बे आके तब?
नहीं, आधे वो लव आजकल के सेट्स पे आए थे.
अच्छा.
लेकिन वो तो लंदन था. He never came to film sets, not my mother's film sets or mine or something.
अच्छा.
I think एक बार वो अम्मा took him to a film party. Somebody said, "Hi, I'm AD." Hi, I'm AD. So he said, "Where's BC?" So then she didn't invite him again. She said, "Oh God, this is." The guy didn't understand what you. He said, "AD, where's BC?"
Where's BC? Actually, you know, YouTube पे आपके फादर टाइगर पटौदी साहब के इतने प्यारे इंटरव्यूज हैं. आप सिर्फ उन इंटरव्यूज को देख के you can actually take it like a class of good manners and how a man should behave and you know things like that.
I watch them also. Sometimes I miss him and I just watch these old interviews.
Yes. Despite having one eye severely damaged, he was the captain of Indian cricket team. कोई सोच नहीं सकता आज के ज़माने में.
But also he never made a big deal out of it, you know, like out of anything. Anything you take from him, anything life takes from him, he's quite relaxed. He's relaxed being a prince. He's relaxed being a normal person.
Yes.
He's relaxed with everything.
Yes, and even all this while जब शर्मिला जी काम कर रही थी और वो नहीं होती थी उनके साथ, he was pretty chilled out. In fact, he said to somebody, "My wife is a busy girl.
Yes,
it's difficult for the schedules to meet."
Absolutely.
How cool is that?
Yeah, no, he was very cool and relaxed. हमने उनसे काफी बहुत सीखा है.
है ना? Yeah, great. आपके दादा इफ्तिखार अली खान साहब ने इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट किया था इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में. आपके फादर तो कैप्टन थे ही. आपने या इब्राहिम ने कभी प्रोफेशनल क्रिकेट न खेला न खेलने की सोची? क्यों?
You know, हमने खेली थी स्कूल में. मैंने काफी क्रिकेट खेली थी, लेकिन एक तो एक अलग टाइप का पैशन की जरूरत होती है और फ्रैंकली एक अलग टाइप का टैलेंट भी. और आदमी को पहचान लेना चाहिए कि लिसन, आई डोंट नो, इतने सारे बिलियन लोग हैं हमारे देश में, सब क्रिकेट खेलना चाहते हैं. लाइक हाउ द साउथ अमेरिकन्स वांट टू प्ले फुटबॉल, वी वांट टू प्ले क्रिकेट. सो आई थिंक इट वुड नॉट हैव बीन अ रियलिस्टिक एम्बिशन एक्चुअली. I don't know, genetically, I think कुछ बंगाली खून भी आ गया है हमारे अंदर. So we have gone the other way. So it's okay, you know.
Okay.
I would have loved to play cricket.
Yeah.
I love cricket. मेरे खून में है, you know, I like old test matches. I like all sorts of cricket. To me, it's like my father, you know. So it's like a very deep thing. But अगर उस लेवल पे नहीं खेल सकते तो you should not bother.
You should not.
You know, that's what I think.
Correct. इब्राहिम अगर 21 साल की उम्र में शादी करने को कहें या कोई भी लड़का कहे, तो what would your advice be?
I'd say you're too young. Okay. I'll say you're too young and please wait.
Great. करियर के कौन से साल में आपने अपने आप से कहा, hey, I need to be recognized as a very good actor?
I don't know. After a while, शुरुआत में I just wanted to be accepted.
Okay.
You know, पता नहीं will the film do well, not do well. मेरे ambitions काफी low थे और वो बढ़ते गए. And now I think just before कल हो ना हो और शाहरुख खान के साथ काम करने के बाद मुझे लगा कि okay, I want to take more responsibility.
Okay.
मैं देख रहा हूँ कि how a senior actor works, you know.
Yeah.
And काफी gear changes हुए हैं career में. तो कल होना हो was a gear change. I didn't love के लिए कुछ भी करेगा. Small film. When I did, I said, okay, I want more out of life. I don't want to do these films only.
Okay. आपका ओरिजिनल नाम था साजिद अली खान. तो सैफ कब, क्यों और कैसे?
I don't know. हमारे फैमिली में एक ट्रेडिशन था कि दादी the first born the दादी will bring up.
कई घरों में.
And my mother said no, but
okay.
Maybe she should have given me. I was very naughty, and I think my parents were very busy also when I was growing up. So shayad maybe I would have been less naughty under Dadi. But I don't know why she said Sajid.
Okay.
And somebody changed it to Saif, and I'm very happy they changed it.
करीना की कौन सी फिल्म देखकर आपने सोचा था for the first time that God, she is gorgeous?
कभी खुशी कभी
गम. क्या आपका पटौदी का 10वां नवाब होना कभी आपके फिल्म करियर से क्लैश होता है?
Somebody, I think my daughter Sara ने मुझसे कहा कि you can't expect to be taken seriously as the Nawab of Patodi and then dance like see, the two don't mix. Yeah, there's some Rajasthani princes who take it very seriously.
Yes, and that is North India.
But that is their image in North India, you know. But for us, we are very secular. India and the film industry is very secular. So this stuff, I mean, bol lete hain, but we don't take it seriously. And of course, you take your family seriously. And the house and everything. My father is buried in Patodi. I will be buried in Patodi. But we're very down to earth. We don't, you know, it's difficult to mix the two.
It is. आपके बेटे तैमूर की सबसे प्यारी अदा क्या है?
I think he says adab like this. Abadab.
Lovely. अच्छा, पटौदी का वली अहद ये एक काम नहीं कर सकता. वो क्या है वो?
I think something very loud and, you know, maybe nylon shirts. I think you can't wear them. Something loud behavior. They're quiet people.
Yeah, quiet and dignified. So, Saif, आप तो सुना है कि चलती फिरती डिक्शनरी है, तो हमारे जो शब्दकोश है उसमें कुछ इजाफा करते जाइए. Tell me a better word for perplexed.
Perplexed. Flummoxed.
Tell me a better word for shocked.
Shocked. Flabbergasted. Okay. Flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted. Wow. Dishonest.
Disingenuous.
Okay. अब आपने इंग्लैंड में इतना वक्त गुजारा है. Tell me a good, pretty, sweet, small English joke.
Okay, I know one. Another one. Yeah. How do you start a pudding race?
How do you start a pudding race?
You say go.
You say go.
Because Sago is a famous pudding in England. It is. Yeah.
Good one.
Okay, what happens when Batman and Robin meets a steamroller?
Batman and Robin meet the steamroller.
Yeah. They become Flatman and Ribbon. It's really bad. Sorry.
Time for a short break on the show. When we come back, we have music sensations Sachet Parampara with their popular songs. One of their popular songs is Bekhayali Mein Bhi Tera Hi Khayal Aaye from the movie Kabir Singh. They have come back with their new offering. So what is that? After the break.
Ayushman are time and again demanding the resignation of Satyen Jain, and also at the same time they have been saying that Satyen Jain should be shifted to another jail because he continues to receive all the treatment, VIP treatment particularly inside Tihar. Back to you, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us and decoding the politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP in the wake of Massagegate, and the controversy only, and the war of words only escalates between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, after Massagegate, fresh trouble mounts for the Aam Aadmi Party as the BJP has released another video of Aam Aadmi Party Minister Satendra Jain, where he's seen in conversation with the jail superintendent inside his cell. The BJP has termed the video Satendra Ka Darbar and launched a blistering attack against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for defending the jailed minister. The BJP has also demanded Satendra Jain be removed from the party immediately.
पहले तिहाड़ में जो 5 महीने से जेल में है सत्येंद्र जैन, जिनको कोर्ट से राहत नहीं मिलती है, पहले वो वीवीआईपी मालिश करवाते हैं, वो भी चाइल्ड रेपिस्ट से, और वो कोर्ट में तो कहते हैं 28 किलो घट गया, खाना नहीं मिल पा रहा है। परंतु अब जो वीडियो सामने आया है कि किस प्रकार से जिस जेल सुपरिटेंडेंट को सस्पेंड भी किया गया है उनके कुकृत्यों की वजह से, वो नजर आते हैं सत्येंद्र जैन के साथ। किस प्रकार से सत्येंद्र जैन को वीवीआईपी ट्रीटमेंट मिल रही थी तिहाड़ जेल के अंदर, जो अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार कंट्रोल करती है। अब अरविंद केजरीवाल, आपने इन सारी चीजों को डिफेंड किया, आपने एक रेपिस्ट को फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट कहा। बताइए कि क्या आप देश से माफी मांगेंगे और क्या सत्येंद्र जैन को बर्खास्त करेंगे और जेल से बाहर करेंगे?
So when it comes to the MCD elections as well as the Gujarat elections, the BJP has launched this scathing attack against the Aam Aadmi Party through these videos. Now, it all started with Massagegate, ladies and gentlemen, where what happened was a rape accused was giving a massage to Satendra Jain inside his cell, that visual in the center of your screen. And then what happened was that the Aam Aadmi Party top brass stated that this was a physiotherapy session, and they targeted the BJP, saying they are attacking Satendra Jain based on his health. But it turns out that the man wasn't a licensed physiotherapist. He was actually a rape accused, a man who is in jail for sexually assaulting his own daughter. Then the pitch came from the Aam Aadmi Party that Satendra Jain is being starved, he's not getting good food inside prison, that he...
Hi and welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Faruqi. Up next we have singer-composer duo Sachet Parampara, who gave us the very melodic song Bekhayali from 2019 film Kabir Singh. They have a new single coming out titled Takda Rawan. My colleague Vishal Chatkara spoke to Sachet and Parampara about their latest song, the importance of social media in the life of an artist, and lots more.
सोना सोना तेरी अख दा नजारा के अखां विच तकदा रवां तेरे मुखड़े नु दिन राती पढ़दा रवां तैनू पाण वाली जिद उत्ते अड़दा रवां दिल बैठे बैठे करदा ऐ गल्लां तेरियां तैनू लग जाना उमरा भी यारा मेरियां सोना दिंदा नहीं अख दा सितारा के अखां विच तकदा रवां.
Congratulations for your new single that's titled Takda Rawan, which is actually trending on top position. The song is of course written by Kumar. So how it all started, how you zeroed in on this song?
Actually, we as Sachet Parampara, we always feel कि हमें जितने भी हमारे listeners हैं उनको ना कुछ नई नई चीजें गिफ्ट करनी चाहिए. तो ऐसे ये आइडिया आया कि एक न्यू सॉन्ग बनाते हैं जिसमें थोड़ा कुछ ऐसे एलिमेंट्स हो जो उनको खुशी दे, जो उनको हैप्पीनेस दे जब भी वो गाना सुने. तो कुछ ऐसी म्यूजिक से शुरुआत की.
I think उसी में ही we got Kumar Paji on board, and I think उन्होंने जो हम लोगों ने पहले मेलोडी बनाई थी, तो वो मेलोडी पे ही कुछ थे, अपनी लिखावट था हमारा, हम लोगों ने डमी लिख के रखा था, और उसके बाद से भी उनके साथ बैठे, and I think within half an hour we completed this song.
You have millions of followers on Instagram. Would you please like to tell our viewers the reason why musicians should post Instagram reels?
Should post because it is a free platform. You don't require anybody.
If you want to talk to your fans, so definitely you can, or the people who love you.
You also get to know, more about yourself as an artist. कि क्या चीज है जो मतलब लोगों को आपकी इतनी पसंद है, जबकि कई बार हम दोनों को एक दूसरे की वो चीज नहीं पसंद आती जो लोगों को हमारे बारे में पसंद आती है. हाँ, यू डिस्कवर योरसेल्फ. अगर आप इंस्टाग्राम पे या किसी सोशल मीडिया पे, यू कैन ऑल्सो डिस्कवर योरसेल्फ.
And also, so would you say that you find your audience on Instagram?
Yeah, our audience
our audience
everywhere.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Even on YouTube. So we have 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So and I think Facebook
also.
too. So we have everywhere. जो हमारी जहाँ पे जो लोग सुनते हैं वो ऑडियंस है, अगर वो ढूंढ लेते हैं उनको जो भी चाहिए होता है और वो एंजॉय करते हैं उस सेक्शन को.
Although you made your Bollywood debut with the song from Toilet Prem Katha, but actually the song that put you on the map was a song called Bekhayali from Kabir. Right to say that post Kabir Singh, there was no looking back for Sachet Parampara?
Thank you for saying that. It motivates us when you say that there was no looking back.
It was a long process
and discussions.
Many discussions.
Because it is a very different kind of
Sandeep sir had a very, very, very good vision. And even Shahid sir is an outstanding actor. He also thinks a lot about music. बहुत changes हुए, बहुत होते हैं. It's very normal. Because song में ऐसा mood था कि वो प्यार में भी है, वो एंग्स्ट भी है उसके अंदर, वो उदास भी है, वो मतलब उसको सब कुछ है.
और ऐसा नहीं था कि बहुत सारे कॉम्पोजिशंस बनाए थे इसके लिए और ऐसा.
This was the one.
This was the first tune that came out from us.
It was बेख्याली में भी तेरा ही ख्याल आए, क्यों बिछड़ना है जरूरी ये सवाल आए, तेरी नजदीकियों की खुशी बेहिसाब थी, हिस्से में फासले भी तेरे बेमिसाल आए.
So we close the show with an interesting couplet that Mr. Bachchan had used in the scene right after the song Rang Barse in Silsila. And he said, Lazim hai dil ke saath rahe pasbaan-e aql. Lazim hai dil ke saath rahe pasbaan-e aql. Lekin kabhi kabhi ise tanha bhi chhod de. Give yourself some moments of restitude and peace, just in case you are burning yourself out. We all are work in progress and the journey should be better than the destination. I'm Atika Farooqi, signing off here. Till we meet again, goodbye.
Authority, and when he comes and visit Satyen Jain, and Satyen Jain is not even showing any kind of respect to him. That means some way or the other Satyen Jain continues to hold the office and he has been showing his dominance of his ministry even inside the Tihar jail. This is the reason why the leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Ayushman, are time and again demanding the resignation of Satyen Jain, and also at the same time they have been saying that Satyen Jain should be shifted to another jail because he continues to receive all the treatment, VIP treatment particularly, inside Tihar. Back to you, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us and decoding the politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP in the wake of Massagegate, and the controversy only and the war of words only escalates between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, after Massagegate, fresh trouble mounts for the Aam Aadmi Party as the BJP has released another video of Aam Aadmi Party Minister Satyendra Jain, where he's seen in conversation with the jail superintendent inside his cell. The BJP has termed the video Satyendra Ka Darbar and launched a blistering attack against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal for defending the jailed minister. The BJP has also demanded Satyendra Jain be removed from the party immediately.
पहले तिहाड़ में जो 5 महीने से जेल में है सत्येंद्र जैन, जिनको कोर्ट से राहत नहीं मिलती है, पहले वो वीवीआईपी मालिश करवाते हैं, वो भी चाइल्ड रेपिस्ट से, और वो कोर्ट में तो कहते हैं 28 किलो घट गया, खाना नहीं मिल पा रहा है. परंतु अब जो वीडियो सामने आया है कि किस प्रकार से जिस जेल सुपरिटेंडेंट को सस्पेंड भी किया गया है उनके कुकृत्यों की वजह से, वो नजर आते हैं सत्येंद्र जैन के साथ. किस प्रकार से सत्येंद्र जैन को वीवीआईपी ट्रीटमेंट मिल रही थी तिहाड़ जेल के अंदर, जो अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार कंट्रोल करती है। अब अरविंद केजरीवाल, आपने इन सारी चीजों को डिफेंड किया, आपने एक रेपिस्ट को फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट कहा। बताइए कि क्या आप देश से माफी मांगेंगे और क्या सत्येंद्र जैन को बर्खास्त करेंगे और जेल से बाहर करेंगे?
So when it comes to the MCD elections as well as the Gujarat elections, the BJP has launched this scathing attack against the Aam Aadmi Party through these videos. Now it all started with Massagegate, ladies and gentlemen, where what happened was a rape accused was giving a massage to Satyendra Jain inside his cell, that visual in the center of your screen. And then what happened was that the Aam Aadmi Party top brass stated that this was a physiotherapy session, and they targeted the BJP, saying they are attacking Satyendra Jain based on his health.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and this is a conversation I always look forward to with the Padma Bhushan Anupam Kherji in a year when other actors are struggling. He's been part of projects which have grossed more than 500 crore. Kashmir Files, Kartikeya 2, and of course, Unchai. नमस्ते अनुपम जी।
नमस्ते।
जैसा आप हमेशा कहते हैं
जी,
कुछ भी हो सकता है।
कुछ भी हो सकता है। अनुपम खेर is impressed with himself.
No, and somewhere are you thinking to yourself, even I didn't think that this could happen with me at this stage of my career.
मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि अगले साल फिर नहीं होगा तो मुझे अफसोस होगा या पिछले साल नहीं हुआ था। Even though I have been part of amazing blockbusters, दिलवाले दुल्हनिया, हम आपके हैं कौन, हाँ कुछ कुछ होता है, so many of them. But usually the credit always goes to, because also the hero's life is on stake because he has to get the audience. But in this, unusual stories,
correct,
Kashmir Files about Kashmiri Pandits genocide, no song, no comic sequences, nothing, depression, sadness, tears, 350 crores. Kartikeya 2 started with 50 theatres in Hindi about this person's search for Krishna, and the actual philosophy behind him, how the Krishna is the creator of so many things, and grew to 2,000 theatres. Unchai, about 3 older people, and they decide to find their own Everest within themselves. Unusual film. So that is what is interesting. It's not about heroism, it's about the courage, it's about hope, it's about a possibility of goodness. So I always say that goodness is being cool is being goodness, believing in goodness. Being cool means being honest. And so when your personal philosophy matches the kind of work you do, and that gets success, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, you just feel that finally, अब जाके सही फूटी, kind of.
हाँ, उस हिसाब से। वरना तो मुझे तो लगता है कि मैंने जो फिल्में मेरी नहीं भी चलती थी, जो मैंने फिल्में बहुत बुरी भी थी, जिनमें मैंने बड़ी फुहड़ एक्टिंग भी की थी, but they were also part of my journey.
Yeah.
And life is about journey, not about destination.
Yeah, it's the journey,
so
not the
I've
destination.
never disowned, or I've never sort of looked down upon the things that were not great, because I did that with them also with great joy.
But let me ask you, did you expect Kashmir Files to take up 350 crore, or do you think that that movie has actually done a lot of things at various levels in society also?